Hey everyone, welcome to this acrylic glass still life piece. I'm Mike Ferris, and to get started I'm going to be on an 8x10 pre-stretched canvas with my image already laid out from wax transfer paper and a stylus, and you can find how to transfer images in a short video link in the description box below. So now to get started, I have this light tone of gray that you see here, and I just let it dry before I did my image on here, and it's just some titanium white and a pin drop of black. So I have my number 6 angle brush, and I love this thing because it has the tip right here and those other bristles that angle out of my way so I can get these nice crisp lines. And I always recommend this brush on still life and getting precise lines going. So I have titanium white and permanent black here, and the only two colors of course in this piece. So I'm going to take some titanium white and just a little bit of black to this, and I'm going to start with this very light gray tone. And basically with this, I am, just going to start with the rim of the glass. I'm going to start back here, and I'll hit some of the front as well. Okay, and I don't really need to clean that much because I can vary these tones anytime and any way. So I'm going to get a little bit more black now. And as you can see, now I have a darker shade of gray here. So with this, I want to go inside the glass, and I really want to load this up really well with paint. And I want the inside just subtly darker than the outside background, just because when you look through glass, it is just a teeny bit darker. And this is a little bit darker than I want to be, so I'm actually picking up more white now. And I'll just go over the top of this and basically tone this back just a little bit with more white. And again, if something is not the right color, or if it's too light or too dark, it's all good. This is a very easy piece and very forgiving. You can just add black or more white or whatever you need to do to lighten or darken the color. So right here, this is about good, I think. I'm gonna just say that I don't want it to be very obvious that the tone is different. So just like this, I want to just get this tone to be just subtly darker than the background. So even this is still a little bit too dark. So I think I'm gonna get just a little bit more titanium white. And I'll just settle this down just a little bit more so that it's very incognito. So as you can see, even with the white, it looks a little bit lighter, of course, but you can still see that gray through the white. And I think this is the good way to make it very subtle like this, is to put a little bit of dark gray and then put some white over the top of it, and then the gray showing through will give it that subtle look that I want. And in this way, it will give a more realistic look to the glass. Okay, so going into more titanium white now, and just a touch of that black. You can see barely any in there. It's a very, very light gray. And again, I want to do the same thing inside the glass on the bottom part here, below the rim there, and just, again, really want this very subtle change. Okay, so I have my number 6 flat brush here, and I'm going to continue on with toning down this dark value inside the glass here. Again, I want it very subtle. So just going to add some more lighter value here and just pretty much brush this in, and like I said, tone it down and make it very subtle looking. Okay, now I'm going to go into some more titanium white and some more permanent black. And you can see more black this time. I'm going to get this darker gray value. And so with the edge of my flat brush, I'm going to go in and start the edge of the glass here. And I'm going to make these very wide triangular shapes on the outsides to start with. And you can pretty much do a similar shape. It doesn't have to be exactly the same shape that I'm doing, but just these different triangular little projections is really going to take off when we play these lights and darks and mid-tone grays back and forth and really build this up. And it's really going to make this glass pop and give all that three-dimensional look and that pop and that shine. So as you can see, I'm just coming down like so. I'm making sort of like this kind of trapezoid triangular type, I don't know, shape or whatever. So just something like this. And again, if something gets crooked or if it's too much, you can just take a lighter value by just picking up more white, and you can cover up any line anytime or any value of color, and it's like it never happened. So really just go for it and get loose with it, and you can really practice drawing and keeping straight lines and all of that. So this is a very easy piece. This black and white monochromatic piece, very forgiving. Like I said, you can just push colors around and change them anytime you want. So just mixing up another gray tone here, and again, more black in it for a darker tone. And let's go just kind of in here. I want to do these triangular pieces like this. So I'm using just the very edge of the flat brush, and then I'm giving a little bit more pressure as I come down and just filling in these shapes and having it pretty much follow the shape and the direction of the glass. So with the edge of my flat brush, you can see with the very corner I can get, see this guy right here, very precise on the very edge of the lip here and really show some shadow striking right here, see, just like that, and can really help to get into those small areas and details really well and have those fine points. But again, if something is out of whack, just take a lighter value and knock it back to what it should be. So again, there's never really a mistake at all. It's just change the value or reshape it with something if you don't like something. So just getting some darker value now, you can see more black involved, and I'm just going to do these streaks down it and just really start to play in here these shadows and start to build these different values on top of these shapes. Okay, so as I load my brush, I'm going to go into some more black here, and both sides pulling it through, and it gives it this really nice edge you can see there. And it's really important to get a nice edge, and if you don't have a nice flat brush, maybe the bristles are frayed out, I highly recommend using the angle brush and using the tip to get that fine tip on the triangles like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in more of these shapes, and you can do this however, and again, knock back anything with a lighter value if something gets out of whack. Now without cleaning, I'm going to get some titanium white now to lighten this value up. And with this lighter value of gray, I'm going to take again and pull it through on both sides to get that nice edge. And wiggling and pulling really brings that to a very sharp edge. And so with that, I'm just going to streak in these lighter lines like so. Okay, picking up more white now and just a touch of black for a very, I would say mid-tone, mid to light tone gray. And just a little bit of paint on the brush. And so with the edge of the flat brush now, I want to make these different lighter value triangular shapes, and this is going to be what I want to call some reflective shadows, or shadows that are reflecting, I guess. I don't know, but it just brings out more of this shine and all of its reflective qualities as a glass. So I'll play these down a little bit with some lighter values to blend them in a little bit better. So for now, I just kind of want to get things where they go, and this is more or less just blocking stages and putting these different values of this grays and all of that where they go. Okay, so without cleaning, just getting some more titanium white, and it's going to be a very light gray tone. And with my number 4 flat brush, just after loading it up, I'm going to take it down and put it just kind of right here and have the start of some reflective shine. And so with the rest of that value on the brush, I'll just streak some of that in here and there. Okay, now I have my number 2 flat brush to get into smaller areas, and with that I'm going to load up some permanent black. And with the very edge and the corner of the brush, I'm just going to start applying these very dark shadows on the edges of the glass. Okay, so right here I'm going to start blocking in these different squares with a mid-tone gray. So with my number 2 flat brush, I'm going to take some permanent black and this white to a place where, again, it's this not completely dark but not all that light either, and it's going to be about this value. And I'm just going to start blocking in all of the squares with this, and as I'm blocking in, I want to leave a little bit of gap in between the squares. See, something like that. You can see just a teeny bit. And this doesn't have to be totally neat because I'm going to be going over this with light values and some tones of gray that are not as dark as this, and then of course a little bit of black along the way here and there. So this is going to be the start of just laying out again just a general base color and just basically getting everything where it goes for now. Okay, without cleaning, again, just picking up more titanium white for a lighter gray value. Okay, a little bit of black into there so it's not too light. And down here you can see it's about almost the same value as the squares that I blocked in. And again, just base color for now, getting dark values where they go and lights and all of that. And of course I'll adjust those and cover some things up and keep some of it showing, and in this way this will start to build up all the values that play together to really create all of the three-dimensional shine and pop of this glass. So as you can see, I'm just dancing this in randomly, leaving some openings, and there's really no right or wrong. Just get the color in there, and by leaving openings, it allows me to come in there and put in different values in between what I've done. And again, I can always knock anything back, so really just go for it. It doesn't matter how neat it is right now, so it's just getting just something established, and from there we can work with that. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up more titanium white and again more black. Let's get another gray value going. And I'll go on the bottom here and start filling stuff in with this. Okay, after some values there, now I'm going to take titanium white, and with this I'm just going to take just a teeny bit of black, mostly white, so it's very light now. And again, this is my number 2 flat brush that I'm loading up, and let's just get a little bit more. And so this isn't quite the brightest of the values, but for now I'm just going to build this up, and I'll start to place, like I said, some lighter values on top of these blocked in pieces that I did. And I'll just start to build this up, and the more layers and the more times I play these colors back and forth, the better this becomes, and the more smooth and three-dimensional and just more realistic and all of that. So I'm just going to go here and there with that value and just play this in. Okay, so now titanium white, and again I didn't clean, so this brightens it a little bit more, and once again here and there but not everywhere as I play this value in. Okay, so I have my script liner brush now, and I just wanted to form it to a tip with a little bit of water in my fingers there. And so with the tip, I'm going to use that to create some details on the squares that I blocked in, and I'm just going to go into permanent black, just a poke of white to that. And I'll just pull it through the paint as I turn the brush, and that keeps that tip intact. And with that, I'll just start doing some details on top of what I've done. Alrighty, so back to my number 2 flat brush there. I did not really care for the script liner, so it was kind of experimental for me, but again, you can use whatever brush you're comfortable with. But it did put a few little things on there, but I just thought I could get more done with the number 2 flat, so I'm back to that, and with another value of gray, I'm just going to go in here and just again here and there, but not everywhere, and play this in. Okay, with a little bit of paint left on the brush with that gray value, as you can see, I'm going into the grooves and more or less just settling down the pattern within the glass. So this is going to help to make it look more natural and bring out more realistic type of a flow to it. And on top of this, I can also redefine those lines if they get covered up too much. So really just go for it, and just a little bit of paint is key, because too much paint will render you a lot of mess and it's going to be a little maybe difficult to deal with, so you can always add more paint. So I always say go less than what you think you'll need. Okay, so I'm going to go more permanent black now onto this number 2 flat brush, and no cleaning of course, so I'm just going to start hitting this value here and there on top of all of this. Okay, with more permanent black in my number 2 flat, I'm just going in again and reinforcing these darker areas. And as I build more layers, of course, it makes it more full and saturated and brings out more of a realistic look each time as it gets smoother this way. Okay, so with that dark gray value here, you can see I'm just dancing it in and leaving some of those lighter gaps there. And again, this is just really bringing this together and bringing out all of its realistic effects this way. Okay, so just picking up now more titanium white, and just going to really get that nice edge on it, so pulling through on both sides. And just using the very edge of the flat brush, I'm just going to reestablish some of these lines. Alright, just going to go into just titanium white alone, and again my number 2 flat brush. And with the very edge and the corner, I'm just going to dab in just pure titanium white for the direct highlights. Okay, right here there's going to be this little reflection that's kind of transparent here, so just a little bit of paint left on the brush and I can lightly brush that over, and it just adds another element of interest to the painting. Okay, I went a little heavy on the white there, so no problem. I'm just going to get a tone of gray here that's a little bit light. So some black, some white, and I'm going to go right here where I covered up some of this triangular shape and see just like this, and I can get that transparency to come right back. Okay, with a clean number 2 flat brush now and just pure titanium white, I'm going to load this up pretty good. And I'm going to do a direct highlight here on the glass up at the rim. So right here, I'm just going to take this shape, and you can make your shape however. This is just going to be a basic rectangular shape of a direct reflection and direct light hitting the glass here. So this is going to be our brightest, most shiniest part. And I'm going to leave a little gap like you see there, and I don't know, this just, maybe there's a window that's reflecting here and it's part way open or something, but just adds a little interest there. And so going to go around the rim and just basically fill this shape in, and I'll put another triangular piece that goes in the front of the glass. So this is the reflection on the back, and I'll add some more value in between the reflections to show the rim of the glass and make that pop out of there a little bit more. So I'm just going to do this triangular piece now, and I'll just block this in with white, and this really starts to shine this thing up really well. Okay, a little bit more titanium white, and I just want to go back in and let's do another layer and enhance this brightness. And while I'm at it with the rest of the paint left on the brush, I'm going to go ahead and enhance this more faded highlight right here. Okay, after some more highlight there, I'm going to take now permanent black, and again my number 2 flat brush, and with the edge I'm just going to start striking the very dark shadow areas and really just bring this stem to life. Okay, so with just some more of that white, and I just want to go back in and just hit just some lighter values again. So if you don't like something, if it's too bright or maybe something gets covered up again, take another value and cover over, and every time you work these colors back and forth it gets smoother and more realistic each time. Okay, so now taking more white, and I'm just going to place some of these direct highlights in here. Okay, so really just playing these values back and forth. There's really no right or wrong, so just really go for it, and anything goes. It's all good. It will just get better. Just the more times that you go over something or knock colors back and build up more layers, it just starts to become this magic of something that just happens. I don't know. So just really hang in there and just keep playing these values around like this. Okay, so just going to go into more titanium white now. And let's go with just a little bit more gray now, and I want to just enhance this rim here between the highlights, and also with that I want to put it underneath this rim and the one in back as well. Okay, and again, more pure titanium white as I play these values back in, and this really just brightens it up each time that I put another layer of white in, and again, really just brings out its vibrance and shine that much more. Okay, so I have my number 6 flat brush here, and with that I'm going to create a shadow now. So just some black and some white, a fairly light gray tone, but I can always go darker or lighter with another value, so just really go for it. And let's just cast him off to the right like so. Okay, so with my script liner and lots of water with permanent black, I'm going to pull through as I turn it to a point. And with that very tip, I'm going to go ahead and sign this piece right here. And I want to thank you guys so much for all your watch time and all your support. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos I'll be putting out. And give this one a shot. This is super simple, very rewarding, a very good piece for practicing. And both experienced and beginner painters will be totally satisfied. And it will just work out and be one of a kind. So if you have questions or comments, please drop those down below. And until next time, happy painting, everyone.